when you think for a second and understand the fact that we're all gonna die, you will see that actually the world is much more different than we think it is. The arm we broke, I don't know, the money that we have lost, the car that has got stolen, all of those things are actually doesn't matter that much. Yes, they matter a little bit. At least you were going to use the car for like 10 years, 20 years in maximum. But then what would happen? The car would be obsolete. Obsolete. The car would be obsolete. You wouldn't use it and you would buy a new car. And so all of those things are not permanent. And some of those are not so permanent that you won't even use them in the next year. And at the end, you won't even use yourself because you're gonna be dead. So what about that? Most of the things won't even matter when you die, and death is close. It's not that like far away. Some will say that our careers or our lives, they're long, but they're actually not. Because if you look at that, it's kind of complicated and kind of vague. But a month is short, but a day might be long. Maybe 10 years is like lightning fast. Maybe 50 years is so fast that you didn't even see it coming. But at the end, you will see that that actually also doesn't matter, because if something is gonna end and if it's not permanent, it actually doesn't matter that much at all, because it's gonna end, it's gonna finish someday, and something else is gonna happen. And it's also the same in our relationships. Maybe your ex girlfriend cheated on you. Who cares? Because the thing is, like, not that girls are finite. Like, I mean, there are lots of girls that you can find, but also that pain is gonna go away, and the other like problems will occur with time. And so, what are we gonna do about those problems? Like, of course, we will solve, but when we are solving those problems, we shouldn't be afraid or anxious or stressed at all. Because when you think about this for a second, those emotions are just indicators that this problem is actually some kind of like hard problem, or actually if it's a problem or not. And because if there's no problem at all, we would be kind of happy. Like, actually, this is not the case, but emotions are indicators. If your life sucks, you're gonna be like, all right, man, I gotta change real quick. I gotta, tidy my room or brush my teeth more, or I gotta go around more, I gotta lift more. And those emotions actually make a new path that you can walk and just go and reach to a new destination, which is actually awesome when you think about this. But not that we actually use it improperly. We don't have the proper emotions that actually move us to that path. So let's say that if we wanna buy a new phone, but still our phones work properly and we can actually use them more than 5 years, but we just decide somehow, I don't know, with kind of emotion that we couldn't actually use properly, or actually feel properly, and now we want to buy that phone that is actually useless. You could spend that money elsewhere that could actually transform your life for the better, but you just didn't. You just bought a new phone, and that means that your emotions, your path was actually wrong. It was guided by some wrong emotion that led you there. And we don't want this. We want the exact opposite. We don't want to buy phones. We want to buy books. We want to buy pen and a journal and write something on it. We want to buy some computers that we can actually do some tasks that are actually important for us. We can write books. We can, I don't know, we can do so many things like, editing, posting YouTube videos and stuff. I don't want to get into some specific things, but once you understand that you can actually control your emotions with your prefrontal cortex, you will see that you also can change the way you think about death. You can change the perspective, the paradigm that you have in your life about death. Because if you think that death is a necessary and actually a good thing, you will see that you're not afraid of death anymore. You will see that death is actually something that is helpful for you. Because let's say that the life was infinite. You can live for infinite years in this world. What would happen? I think the world wouldn't be that good of a place. What about the people in prison? Like, how much are gonna people are gonna stay there. Like it's like if you think about this for a second, you're like the world would be much more different than now. Maybe more cruel. Like people would, I don't know, like it would be so much more different when I think about this. Like tons of thoughts come into my mind, and like how are we gonna even kill you, man? You just don't die. Like you can't die. Like it's so different. But there probably wouldn't be meaning like that much at all, because you have something, you have your life, which is not finite, which is a finite resource. With years you're gonna die, and you have to use it properly, and also feel properly. Like I mean, feel in a way that you won't even feel that fear and anxiousness, and literally be nearly fearless about life. Because if everybody else gonna die, the only thing that is changing is when the time that we're gonna die. Actually, it might even matter that much, because when you think about it for a second, let's say that you've lived 50 years and me 60. Like, what's gonna change in that 10 years? Maybe you're a good person and you're gonna live better for 10 years, but then what's gonna happen? Then most of the things won't even matter. Like, I think you kind of understand what I wanted to say, but long story short, this life is finite, and thus we think we have to think through that lens, through the finite lens, because when we get into that flow state so much, we can see the fact that life is gonna end someday. And so that was all. You can watch another video here. Goodbye.